Welcome to the Undiscovered Gems podcast, hosted by NBA legend and business powerhouse Charles D. Smith, highlighting today's best and brightest business minds.
Hello, world. I'm Charles D. Smith. I am the host, and you are here at Undiscovered Gems. We have a great guest today. Her name is Rebecca Pogonitz. Rebecca is the founder of GOGO Design. She founded it in 2001. And all you entrepreneurs out there know one thing. What do we shoot for? We shoot for our businesses to be self-sufficient. Mm-hmm. Rebecca has been able to do that. Rebecca, how are you today?
I am wonderful. Happy July 4th long weekend.
Yes. It's always funny when it's on a Wednesday or Thursday. People got to work at they go to the weekend.
Some people take it off, some people don't, but it's a pleasure to be here and an honor. Thank you.
Nice to meet you. So, Rebecca, you got this great company. It's self-sufficient, and that's what we all push for. Congratulations. Tell us about GOGO Design. What is it?
Well, GOGO Design Group is an interior design firm that specializes in residential interior design that nourishes the soul. That's our goal, is to elevate spaces to a sacred level so that people can truly thrive and heal their mind, body, soul. And that's my mission, believe it or not. And it sounds very wordy, but that's how I've established my niche in this competitive market, is focusing on healing spaces and healing the individuals in the spaces. I am not a professional healer. I'll just say that. However, I've done a lot of inner work and my own type of energy healing. And so I don't always bring it up. It depends on the client. However, really, my approach is, when I first arrive, is to assess the energy and what my clients' needs are, what makes them feel awesome, and what brings them joy. And that's often a question I ask is, what brings you joy? And if they say, I don't know yet, that's the fun of it. I'll say, put on your seatbelt because we're about to go on a joyride. So,
that's awesome. The key word that you mentioned is you create a space that nourishes. And I caught that as soon as you said it, because I think about when I'm stressful and I go get a massage, and you walk into the massage room, you got the music, it's dimly lit. It automatically brings you into the presence of relaxation. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking that's how your spaces are, according to what that person needs. So you're customizing healthy spaces that nourish people for when they walk in the room, they're getting what they want when they walk in. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct. And that's why when you look at my portfolio, every single interior is different from the other. Mm-hmm. Because every single interior reflects the needs of the people who live in the space, whether it's physical needs, emotional needs, lifestyle needs. So that's my uniqueness as a professional interior designer.
Well, let's get a bit more into your uniqueness. I always wonder how people come into their own, so to speak, when you have a business and a job, and it's not a business or a job because it's something you love, you're passionate about, and you enjoy doing it. So there's always a pathway for everybody that finds this point in their life. Mm-hmm. What was yours? I mean, you had to go through some obstacles, you had to go through some things that had you arrive to this space. What is it? Talk to us about your path, your journey to get to where you are.
It started when I was a toddler. My mom was an art historian who was so passionate about art and even interiors. And from a very, very young age, she would take me to museums and she would show me art. And she wouldn't just show me art. She would teach me how to look at the art and feel the art. And she'd say, look at the expressions of the people. And then she'd tell me the historic contents, because back then it really was about recording history, right? Or recording moments, a family spending time in their living room. And so she taught me how to look all over at the color and the the painters created texture and composition. And I take the concepts of fine art and translate it into interiors, into physicalness. And I do not know how to paint. I'm really bad at drawing. I've taken sketching classes. I paint with physical objects and with color and also abstract concepts, but it all applies. The concepts of interior design is the same as fine art. And that's really how I work. And so I've had a couple clients tell me that it feels like they're living inside a painting. And that just gives me the chills because it just brings me back to my childhood and looking at those paintings with my mom. So that's how it all began. And then after my divorce in 2012, I rebranded into GOGO with my first, I've had lots of mentors along the way. Oh my goodness. Whenever I needed them, I had mentors in my life. And my first business coach helped me rebrand to GOGO. And he introduced me to people like Brene Brown. And believe it or not, I was already in my 40s when I discovered Eckhart Tolle, all that stuff. But I started applying all that to my work and my own personal growth because I had a lot of personal growth, physical growth. I went through a body transformation, everything that translated into GOGO Design Group. And when I rebranded to GOGO, people will see the GOGO boot is my trademark. And that even draws back to my childhood when I had this red patent leather raincoat. And I'd put that raincoat, and I didn't have a very happy childhood, but I went into another world. I felt like a superhero when I wore that raincoat. And so I thought of red patent leather and GOGO. And I grew up in the 60s and 70s, really the 70s. And I have a penchant for 70s fashion. And so it just all clicked. And GOGO means, always on the go-go. And it was a very unusual brand transformation, and it's stuck. People call me GOGO to this day. Wow. My name is GOGO now.
Well, look, your transformation and your journey, I'm sure the audience that's listening now can identify why you're able to do what you do and why your clients are so satisfied with your work to say, that's a huge compliment to say, I feel like I'm sitting in a painting and they're in a physical.
Yeah, isn't that awesome? Mm-hmm.
Oh, I never heard that. That is an awesome compliment. Congratulations.
Thanks.
So now on building GOGO, where do you get your products to create these spaces? How do you choose these products? I know it's customizable to the person, but how do you choose what you're actually going to give them? How do you go about that?
Well, as you said, each one is an individual process. But the first thing I do before I go out there is to get to know my client very well and just ask them a ton of questions, ask them to put together inspiration photos, and we pour over them, their likes, their dislikes. Some people are prone to more geometric shapes. Some people are prone to more organic shapes. And then what I do is I create a guiding light, the design style, because most people don't really know what they want. And I help them go through this sense of personal discovery about really what brings them joy. And I have to keep all of that in mind. And so what I do is I keep all of these aspects of my clients' needs and personalities. If they entertain a lot, if they have pets, I need to go to the performance fabrics. And nowadays technology is just fabulous because everything's about comfort and ease. And I have so much at my fingertips. And Chicago is such an awesome place to be in the design build industry. It's a mecca, in my opinion. And just to start with the architecture, when I first came to Chicago, I'm from the East Coast. I became a docent with the Chicago Architecture Foundation because I couldn't believe the architecture. I was so excited and the innovation. So it's very, very an inspiring place to be designing, and the Mart is incredible, and all the fabric. So to answer, it's a long-winded answer, but to answer your question, I have to keep in mind, am I looking for this? Am I looking for that? Or is that too modern? Or is that too traditional? And it's a puzzle. So I'm searching out puzzle pieces, and then we just bring all the pieces together. So it's a little bit complicated. It's, but
understandable though. Understandable. So talk to us about your as an entrepreneur, you go through many phases, even starting a business. I think I really believe, this is just my opinion, that the most successful entrepreneurs were so unsure of themselves at the beginning. And it's those key points and indicators along the way that give them the passion and the boost to say, I can do this. And then they go fast, they're very clear and very intentional and become successful. Did you have self-doubt?
Well, certainly. The self-doubt, I look at my professional life also as a personal life, because as you work on the personal, then the professional evolves, right, alongside. So of course, and I still do have self-doubt. And my colleagues who excel, we're human beings, right? The key is some people have a little more self-confidence dependent upon their path and the people in their life from birth to the present day. So everyone has those different degrees, but I think as human beings in general, it's human nature to have self-doubt. So absolutely. I'm still working on that. I am a work in progress, and maybe that's why I keep growing and learning. And it has not been easy. I consider myself a tortoise in the race. But I just keep going. But I can't keep going without my people and my colleagues who believe in me, because what I would recommend is, whenever you're just feeling like you're not believing in yourself, turn to someone who does, whether it's a family member or, because that's critical. And I'm still trying to figure out and internalize, what exactly does that mean, believing in myself? I'm super sensitive about those things. So it's tough. I still do it. I still have the insecurity, and but I forge through. It's just, I think the key is just, it's okay to be fearful and to be scared. But I think really courage is when you are fearful and you just push through anyway. And that's what I do. And that's, God gave me that, along with God. Somehow he became, I connected on a very deep level with God, and he was the wind beneath my wings, and he puts people in front of me, and I just keep going. I'm going to keep going. And I have, I'm 60 years old. I have no intentions of retiring, because I think that's what I need to be doing now, is just forging ahead and seizing opportunities, but balancing that with life, of course, because I've burnt out a couple times. So, and right. Speaking of self-doubt, I actually left my business 2 times. Over COVID, I went to work with another designer, and that didn't work. And then I wasn't believing in myself when the bank accounts were depleted, joined another designer, that didn't work. And I just looked at it as the universe telling me, Rebecca, GOGO is your mission on this earth. GOGO is your purpose here. And so I am not giving up on myself or GOGO ever again.
Wow.
So
sounds like that self-doubt was replaced over time with faith. And
yes. And I was at faith. Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow. And we all struggle with that, right? No matter what your relationship is with God. And I hope I'm not, that's just who I am. So that's why I'm speaking about this, because it's really helped me. It's helped me.
Right.
So.
Well, it sounds like with your business, you bring your mind and your heart into every decision and everything that you do. And that's very unique and special for people that can do that. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about your footprint, your geographical region, the area that you work? Are you in Chicago, New York? Are you all over the country? Where are your clients? How can they find you? How do you work with them?
Well, I'm based in the Chicago area. I've done a project in Minneapolis. I've done virtual work in California. I helped clients create their winter home in Austin. Basically, have work, will travel. I love going to other cities and meeting the vendors there and working there. And so I am available anywhere. My dream is to work in Europe. Italy, I'm obsessed, but I know they do business very differently there. I don't know if I'd survive there, but have work, will travel. I just want to, it sounds kind of woohoo, but I really just want to spread the GOGO message as far as I can. And it doesn't matter where it is. So.
Right. Talk about, and by the way, you mentioned Europe. I tend to do some work in Africa. That's an amazing place with spaces and culture and art and
oh my goodness, yes.
Maybe about that as well. Maybe one day you'll end up working there. Who knows?
I would love it.
But talk to us about your mentors. What you mentioned? What mentors did you have along the way? And can you identify what mentor had the biggest impact on you?
Oh my goodness, that's a tough question because I was a different person each way, but I can break it down into my very first mentor, George Burian, who was my Krav Maga coach. And I lost 80 pounds with him. And he was the very first, and I've put on a few. I'm working with him again though, after not talking to him because I need to get my mojo back. But he, for the very first time in my life, this was in my late 40s, he was telling me stories about the wolf and what you feed the wolf. And he was just so positive and patient. And it took us a long time to really mold my mind and my body. And then I started Krav Maga. I was terrified, but I knew he was there. And that changed my life. And I found my inner voice. And so I started becoming a mental health advocate with that. And then my next mentor was my first business coach. So I took what George taught me and continues to teach me. And then I met James Lynch, and he taught me to embrace my quirkiness. And that just because I'm quirky and I'm not like some other designers, that's what makes me special. And I know those are basic concepts, but if you're new to them, it's life-changing. And I branded to GOGO with James. And then my next business coach, Wendy Cohen, who is a big visionary and leader in the design build community nationwide. She also believed in me, and I was doing all these videos. No one else was doing video marketing, and she was the wind beneath my wings. She offered me many leadership opportunities in our luxury design build organization, and I transformed again. And those were the three main people in my life, but I'm always searching out mentors, right? That's another key is, and I would love to mentor, I think giving back and even though, we're always growing, but if I could mentor someone, I would welcome that opportunity. So those were my huge mentors, and each person came into my life at a certain point.
Right. I've talked to quite a few successful people. When you talk about mentors, the top people have different mentors that fulfill different aspects of their life.
Yeah.
So you want a mentor with a legal mind, a mentor that's spiritually gifted, a mentor that understands business, just different people that you can go to at any time and
yes. And you mentioned the spiritual, and I didn't mention Sheila. Oh my goodness. When I was really struggling, when I was married and raising my kids, I was living an Orthodox Jewish lifestyle, and I was just searching. And she really, and then afterwards I left the community after my divorce to find my own way. And yes, spiritually, and teaching me concepts about God. And then I had just so many people.
Well, The more I hear you, and we only have a 30-minute show, Rebecca, but the more I hear you talk, you keep dropping these nuggets in, you know, I'm hearing so much your life and what you've gone through sounds like a novel or a book, because when you just said I lived a Orthodox Jewish life and you left the community, I'm like, you did that too? I mean, I don't want to go down that path. I want to stay on GOGO, but
Yeah.
you drop so many different things. You mentioned earlier that you go to someone when you have the self-doubt, and it's like a professional athlete or somebody who's an expert in what they do. We
Mhm.
always need that encouragement, and it's that coach that knows you, that says, okay, stop doing that, you're doing that again, you can do this, go get it done, and you get rejuvenized and
Yeah.
rejuvenated, you'd
I
say.
think the best coaches, no matter what it is, in athletics or business, therapists, are the ones who have the sixth sense to see
Mm,
an individual's potential.
sure.
And thank God I have met these people along the way. Even one of my instructors in design school, who I was going to quit design school. I didn't feel good enough. I was so insecure. And she said to me, which was life-changing, Rebecca, some people have strengths that you don't have, and you have strengths that other people don't have. And that seems to also be a common thread through all of my coaches. And she saw
Mm,
my potential, so I graduated, So it's all about finding those special coaches. Yeah.
right. Add those strengths to the differentiating factors that you have in your business. What makes you, some bullet points? What makes you unique and different to other interior designers? What are your differentiating factors that you bring?
I'm authentic. I get vulnerable. Um, I'm compassionate. So the first
Mm,
thing I say is, this is a judgment-free zone. I put people at ease. In general, I want to put people at ease because I know what it's like not to be at ease. I'm not saying that other designers don't do this, but this is what I embrace. I live artistically. I am always trying to push the envelope and think about what hasn't been done. So I push my creative envelope all the time, even if it's a project that's a little more universal. That might not be a good fit for me though, that kind of client, but I'd have to say my authenticity. And that's kind of a cliche word, but I really try hard to live as authentically as possible while maintaining a professional uh, demeanor. And
mhm.
I think that makes me more approachable. So yes, a lot of people are spending so much money. However, they know I empower them to own that decision. So there's
Mhm.
complete peace of mind, and I will not let them settle.
Mm,
And I don't give up on that. And sometimes it gets a little annoying, and sometimes I overthink things, but that's my goal, is to make
mm,
sure that people have completely internalized and own. And that's why they don't get tired of their interiors after they hire me, because it's something they love. And I don't go by trends. I don't care. All the magazines are saying what's trending, and clients ask me what's trendy. I don't care. There aren't any trends. It's what makes you happy. If you want to have black and white and jewel tones, and who cares if some people come in and say this is the 80s? Who cares? And it's like, I try to empower people to embrace their authenticity.
mm.
And and to help them get that way. So I think that's what makes me different.
Yeah, I think you have to be authentic to get people to be and feel comfortable being vulnerable, because it sounds like you need your clients to be vulnerable for them to get what they want in their space. They have to share some
Yeah.
of those things that they may not share with others, but then at the end of the day, they got what they need in their space because they shared something.
Yeah. And this is a very materialistic, image conscious industry and keeping up with the Joneses. And I get it. Some people have that psychological need, and I get it. But if they're not happy, they're going to want to change it again. So I think it's the most economical way is to work with someone who really helps you push your personal envelope and get out of your comfort zone, not just about what you like, but who you are as a person. So if that makes sense.
Right. Oh, absolutely. You know, we're slowly coming to a close here. And like I said earlier, Rebecca, you have so much that we could probably discuss and go down many paths.
Oh, I love to go deep, but I know not here. I'm a deep diver.
Right. So I want you to give our audience your own personal keys to success. You've gone through a lot of different. You've reinvented yourself quite a few times.
Oh, yes, I've had many different hairstyles and this and that. Yeah.
Right. In the loss of 80 pounds. Oh my gosh. But what is your keys to success that you can share with people that are listening, that are entrepreneurs and they want to be successful? What would you tell them?
I don't want to say believe in yourself because that's a hard concept. I would say work on your sense of self-discipline and perseverance, and reach out for help. Don't feel ashamed. Always reach out for help. No question is a stupid question. And tap into really what makes your heart sing and what you really love, because it's so much easier to keep going and do that marathon, because I'm still on the marathon. I'm like on the second mile here. I've got a lot to go. But just if you love what you do and take the time to search that out, then you can make anything happen. And that's what I tell my kids. So, and there will be setbacks, and just be, and again, what is it? 7th times fall down, 8th time get up, or whatever. I may have that wrong. But do not look at the setbacks as failures, which sometimes I get into that rabbit hole, that failures are better almost than success, because you learn from the failures, and just having the courage and perseverance to keep going. And if you feel like you can't keep going and you can't take another step, ask for help. Have someone hold your hand to take that step. And that's how I've survived. Actually, literally, personally and professionally.
Professionally, key word, Rebecca Pogonitz. That's why you're the professional of the year. And you've shared so much in a short period of time. Thank you for coming on the show, Undiscovered Gems, and dropping a lot of gems on our audience. What a great show. And you're a terrific person. And I can see why you're very successful at what you do, because it's different from everybody else's what you do. So thanks for coming on and sharing.
Oh, thank you so much. This was a lot of fun, and I appreciate you listening and everything. That's what I had to say.
All right. So. Great talking to you. And hope to see you again.
Okay. Have a great weekend.
You got it. You too.
Peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Undiscovered Gems with our host, Charles D. Smith, highlighting today's best and brightest business minds. Brought to you by Pods Entertainment Group.